Rose.
What up, dog?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in.
Together with Jalen Jacoby, what is it that we do?
We get the people what they want.
Jalen?
Yes, sir.
Who is joining us in studio later on in the show?
You know you come to J&J for the exclusives.
Who's joining
My
us?
favorite show, Power, resumes this weekend. Tommy Egan will be joining the program.
We have a full NFL wildcard weekend to preview. We have a lot of news and action in the NBA. We have Tommy from Power coming later, but we're starting with the Cowboys. The Cowboys did not listen to Jalen Rose's advice.
They might as well. They interviewed him 30 times.
They have decided to move on from Jason Garrett, and now they have a head coaching vacancy in Dallas. What do you think is next for the Cowboys after Jason Garrett?
So it seems like we've talked about the demise of Jason Garrett's job for 10 years, and that's unfortunate. He's won the division a couple of times. He hasn't gotten them to a Super Bowl. They underachieved this season. And I do believe at some point the message gets stale in the locker room, and it was time to move on. But I don't want to exonerate the players, because as somebody that closely watches every Sunday and Monday and Thursday, I can't think of a Cowboy that had a career year on either side of the football.
Yeah.
And so there has to be some accountability there. I would say so many people keep throwing out all of these amazing college names.
Urban Meyer, Lincoln Riley,
The coach from Baylor.
Matt Rule.
Let me tell y'all something. Do you think Jerry Jones is going to get out a blank check and pay one of those people and allow them to be the face of the Dallas Cowboys? We saw that happen with, who's one of my favorite coaches and people of all time? Oh, Jimmy Johnson. And he won 2 Super Bowls. Barry Switzer won a Super Bowl. Why ain't Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor? Because Jerry didn't get the credit he felt like he deserved. He's not going to bring in one of those guys and give him that autonomy. I just don't believe it. However, what I think he will do and is going to do is hire somebody that's been a head coach before.
In the NFL.
In the NFL that has a track record, but he could probably get at a discount rate. Mike McCarthy is the person that comes to mind.
So you've mentioned Jerry Jones's role, and he's got a bigger role as an owner than any other owner in the entire league. What sort of qualities do you think it takes to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys?
So let me see. If I'm the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, let me count the hats that Jerry Jones wears. He's the owner. He's the president. The GM. Can he have any more titles?
He's the face. He's the figurehead. He's the voice.
Here's what you can't have, and this is a problem. An owner that does interviews right after each game. That's the only person in the entire NFL that does that. Why? Because it undermines everything that's happening in the locker room with the coach and the 53 guys when the owner has a microphone to his face saying the opinion of the team and the opinion of the game. So you know what happens as a player? I don't have to really worry about the word of the coach. I need to go talk to Jerry.
I guess so.
So you're going to circumvent everything the coach says because the owner is the face of the franchise. Those are tough dynamics to deal with in itself.
When they hire Mike McCarthy, it will be broken news to people that watch this show because we always break the news first here on Jalen Jacoby, and we also have some more broken news.
To everyone else, it's breaking news. To Jalen and Jacoby listeners, it's broken news.
Jalen, ever since this summer, you've been saying there's an S factor in Denver. There's a player that could really take them over the top. And now it's starting to come to fruition. This is the broken news to Jalen and Jacoby watchers and listeners. Michael Porter Jr. last night scored a career-high 25 points to help them get a win over the surprisingly talented Pacers. Jalen, do you think Michael Porter Jr. can get this Nuggets team over the hump?
I do. And you and I both love this Nuggets team. Before last season, we felt like they were going to be a surprisingly deep team as Jokic took the all-NBA leap and became the best player on their squad. They paid Murray. Harris plays defense. They have Will Barton is giving them buckets. But Paul Millsap is in his mid-30s.
Yes.
And he plays alongside the Joker. You need a stretch type 4 that can do step-back threes like Michael Porter, but also curl action because with the Joker initiating the offense, guess what? The paint wide open.
Yep.
Paint wide open. You need people that can slash in there.
And Joker will find you.
He's going to find you.
If you're open, he will find you. The ball will be in your
And
hand.
they have guys that can do that. Craig and Beasley and Grant. All of these guys are slashers. All of these guys are finisher. But he's the wild card. That's why you take him as a lottery pick. You redshirt him in theory last season.
Yep.
That's why I think the Pelicans should also do with Zion. You allow him to get healthy. Remember, he had multiple back surgeries. He only played a handful of maybe 10 games in college.
I think it was even less.
Okay? And so now you get premium talent late in the lottery. Now he's healthy.
He looks good.
He's playing well.
He looks good.
And he's going to be a difference maker. Mark my words. The Clippers on paper, they're better than the Nuggets.
Yeah.
They're also better than the Rockets.
On paper.
But you know what I'm going to tell you into this microphone? They ain't going to have a better regular season record than them.
No.
Okay. Michael Porter Jr. is going to be a factor.
Well, the Heat beat the Raptors, right? Two teams that are some of the best in the Eastern Conference. But it's not just that. They held them to 76 points. Jalen Rose. They played zone defense. The Raptors shot terribly, 14% from three. They scored 76 points. Does this tell you more about the Heat defense or the Raptors' lack of offense?
Tells me a ton about the Heat defense. Also, it shows you when you're without your best player in the NBA, your offense can be stymied on a nightly basis. They're playing without Pascal Siakam.
Yep.
And he's one of the 6 or 7 legitimate all-stars in the Eastern Conference as far as
you
I'm
said
concerned.
7. Wow.
Yeah, it's only like 6 or 7 legitimate all-stars in the East. Like, they should pick the best 24 players, not 12 in each conference. With that being said, the Heat under Pat Riley and now under Eric Spoelstra, they're playing old school basketball. Jimmy Butler only had 8 points. Not out there trying to play for stats. Okay? So you mentioned it. Defense is a premium if you're going to get minutes for them. We love that you can make an open shot, Jacoby. Congratulations. We know you like to throw behind the back passes.
Dude, I can't make an open shot, though, to be honest with you.
But if you don't play D, no minutes. You can't find no minutes. And I like how they came into the year. Remember, Jimmy Butler chose his own path. It wasn't necessarily to join another superstar. But you know what he joined? An organization with an identity.
Yes.
There aren't many teams with identities in the NBA. Because Spoelstra gonna make sure that all of those guys play hard. So he don't have to worry about that. Then all of a sudden, where'd none come from? Undrafted rookie. Scoring more points than any undrafted rookie of all time.
The Warriors could use none right now?
Correct. How about Robinson making threes out of Michigan? Made 10 threes in one basketball game.
Jalen.
And Bam out of Bio.
Most improved
player in the league, along with my guy with the Hornets as well, Graham.
Oh, yeah. I love Graham so much. It is now time for the Don't Get Fired topic of the day.
And now, the Don't Get Fired topic of the day.
Jalen, don't get fired. Okay? Don't get fired. So I'm a dad. You know I'm a dad.
You're a great dad.
There's a dad who's booking a hotel room in Sacramento. And he booked a hotel room. He gets to the hotel, finds out that the hotel is hosting a swingers party. And he wants a refund. Do you think the hotel should give him his money back?
Yes. The reason why I think the hotel should give him his money back is because they misled him. Usually when places host things, they're posted and they're acknowledged. Take it from somebody that does a lot of traveling, goes to a lot of restaurants. They acknowledge what's going to be taking place. However, what type of swingers party was this?
Swingers party.
Meaning?
You don't know what a swinger is?
I believe I do, but
What?
if I'm there with my kids,
You trying to get us canceled right now?
if I'm there with my kids, I know what
Don't
get fired.
Don't get fired. Thank you so much, Jalen. Thank you so much. I got kids. I got to feed these kids, man. You can't get us canceled. Jalen, who is joining us in studio right after this?
Joseph Sikora.
Who's he play?
A talented actor from Power. Tommy Egan will be
Tommy
here.
Egan will be in the building. Don't change
Get the VIP
channel.
guest at J&J.
Coming to you live at 17 in the South Street Seaport, brought to you by Chase. Welcome back to Jalen Jacoby, Jalen Rose, who is joining us in the
My
studio
brother
today.
Joseph Sikora is in the house.
Good to
and
be
if
here.
you watch my favorite television show, Power, he plays the character Tommy. Welcome back,
Yo,
family.
welcome back
Good
to the
see you.
studio.
Good to be back.
Good to have you.
Yes,
Good to have
indeed.
you.
Welcome
Thanks,
back.
This is a big weekend for you guys.
Big.
Weekend for you guys. Power comes back. How many episodes do we have left?
We have 5 episodes left of Power, the back 5 episodes. It's going to have everybody going bananas. It's amazing. It's so great. I can't wait to hear what the fans of the show think about it. I can't wait to hear what you guys think about it. I'll be back.
I'm on the edge of my seat. It reminds me of when I was growing up. Dallas had this version of Who Shot JR. So now it's Who Shot Ghost. So tell us.
Who shot Ghost?
Reveal.
Okay,
Who shot Ghost?
so somebody in that video we just saw is lying. They are lying to their teeth.
He had a lot of people coming for him. He created a lot of hostility amongst a small crowd of people.
Absolutely. Everybody said, oh, why? What was wrong with him trying to get out the game? All he was wanting to do was go straight and go to legitimate. But it's how you do things, isn't it? You know what I mean? You have to come straight. You have to be loyal to the people that are being loyal to you, regardless of what your intentions are. If you're going one way or the other, you got to be honest and loyal, and that is not what Ghost did. So somebody came gunning.
So the last couple months of your life, you must just walk around the streets and everyone just comes up to you and says, "Who shot Ghost?"
Oh yeah, Who Shot Ghost? And I always say, do you want me to tell you? It'll ruin the show for you.
I can tell you right now.
It'll ruin the show. Are you crazy?
Do you know Who Shot Ghost?
I will say that the network is smarter than me, and they're smarter than everybody. So I think there are very few people who know what the audience is going to actually see at the end of the day of Who Shot Ghost. Courtney Kemp, the show's creator, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, Gary Lennon, smart people who made sure that the audience is going to be waiting with bated breath. And in fact, a lot of the cast members will be waiting with bated breath to see what actually makes it to the air.
You notice he didn't answer the question, right, Jay?
He's a professional.
I said, "Do you know Who Shot Ghost?" He said his whole thing. He shot out his bosses. Didn't answer the question.
Here's what I want to know, story within the story. Are you going to gain a relationship with Cash?
That was a big thing for Tommy. All Tommy wanted was to make family for himself and be a part of a family that he felt that he had made himself. As we saw from the first season on, all he was doing was looking for family. So I think that because we see that Cash is really without, obviously without a mother, and it's you know, it's kind of iffy of the father situation that I think that the Tommy Cash situation is one I would love to explore more. But you have to survive the back 5 episodes to have anything happen. So, and as you can see, I'm not totally in my Tommy gear, so I hope I'm not giving anything away.
No, you fresh to death.
So I come out my house one day and I walk down my stoop and there's a production van. You know, they got all the trailers and everything. And inside on the dashboard of the production van, it says Power Book 2, Ghost. They were shooting it on my block. So will Tommy be a part of Power Book 2?
Like I said before, you have to survive Power.
So you're telling me that Tommy dies in the next 5
I'm not
episodes?
saying
That's
that
what
for
that's what I'm
I'm not
hearing.
saying that
That's
for
what I'm
sure.
hearing.
That's not what
I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing.
I'm just saying that you have to watch every episode of the back 5 episodes to figure out what's going on and see who survives, because not everybody does.
Jalen's gonna watch
That's all
it
I'm
6
saying.
times a piece.
No question. I love all of the characters.
He knows more than I do about the
He does,
show.
he
Hands
does.
down.
So I love all of the characters, and Tasha's one of my favorite. There were some hints as the series progressed that her and Kanan probably had a past relationship. Are we gonna find out that Tyreek is actually Kanan's kid?
I think that Courtney Kemp has answered those questions of saying they did not have a prior relationship.
Oh, okay.
So from the powers that be, she is the all-knowing almighty. So if she says that is the truth, that's the truth.
Who do you think knows more about power, Courtney Kemp or Jalen Rose?
It's like neck and neck. She may have the edge because she knows the future, but if you're sticking right in the present, it's Jalen Rose.
Well, I know
He's got
once
the
1201
facts.
happening, I'm watching it more episodes than she is.
I mean, this is the best sports analyst on the planet, but he's an even better power analyst.
He's an amazing power analyst. I think he and Stephen A would go head to head on that. They love analyzing power.
They really do. So you mentioned Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, right? And he's such a fascinating person to me. And the latest with him on social media, he going back and forth with French Montana. So what do you think about that? Does he do this intentionally?
I think, man, I mean, I'm not gonna speak for French, but man, if I was French, I would be like,
Say it.
don't do it.
Yes,
Don't do
yes.
it. I see that too, and I'm like, why? What are you gonna get? Because 50's not gonna stop. He's not gonna stop till he feels like he's gonna not stop until he's finished.
And see, in following 50's entire career from How to Rob until now, what people sleep on about him is he's also a physical specimen. The dude is chiseled.
Yeah.
So I know people now, youngsters, see him on IG and just think you can step to him. You don't want no hand game with Curtis 56 Jackson either.
Nobody wants that smoke.
No.
You don't. And Fifth is a much bigger person than I think people realize as well. When people see me, they're like, man, you're small. but when people see Fifth, they're like, oh, man, you're big. Okay, he's very thick, huge shoulders. You know, he'd be a fullback.
So now that Power's coming to a close, and Tommy definitely dies in the next 5 episodes. You just broke that
No,
news
he
right
didn't.
here.
No,
Just
he
broke
didn't.
that news right here.
I did not say that.
And so
I did not
just-
verbalize that.
My question is more from like a personal standpoint. Like, how do you pivot into being Joseph Sikora from everyone sort of recognizing you as Tommy?
Well, you know what? I always say, call me Joseph, call me Tommy, just call me. You know, which is all good. And I think that because I've been in this industry for over 30 years, it's not something I necessarily think about. It just is. You know what I mean? I'll live, if people are saying Tommy this, Tommy that, I think that I take that as a badge of honor that I've been embraced. I've been embraced by more than just America, but you know, kind of all over the world. People love this character, and I'm very grateful for that. But I've always been confident that the next thing will come. The next thing will come because I'm here.
Yeah.
I can make the argument for me that Power is the biggest cultural phenomenon since The Wire. And what ends up happening is we get into your character and you do such a great job with it. We feel like we know you, we follow you. So of course when people see you on the street, they'll be like, yo, Tommy! It just comes with the territory because you killed it so much.
50 Cent said something to me in the second season of the show. He's like, Joe, you did it. Now this is what's going to happen. People are, in 10 years' time, they're going to be like, you know, the one where Tommy plays the doctor.
It's true.
Right,
It's true.
right.
It's also, I'm sure people see you on the street and they're like, oh, Tommy, whatever. And they end up meeting a guy named Joseph with a Chicago accent.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They're like, wait, this is awkward.
What did you think about the open change from the initially Joe and then Trey Songz and then the fans? They were not happy.
I like
and
the
Curtis pays attention to the
He
people.
does, he does.
Switched it back. So how did you guys
And
feel?
when did he switch it back?
Quick.
His episode.
Correct.
Number 3.
Oh, that's right.
He showed him who was boss. I'll tell you what, I like the Trey Songz one, but I think that people do grow accustomed to something and it becomes a tradition.
Correct.
And I think that they didn't want their tradition necessarily messed with. This is not Vatican II. They just like kind of keep it going. You know.
So, you know, you're obviously an extremely talented actor. We look forward to your career, but you're also a sports fan. You know, so we're going to hit you with some sports questions. And
Boy.
Jalen Rose said yesterday that Zion Williamson should not play this year. And we haven't heard much from Zion, but he did speak about it. So let's check in with the number 1 pick.
If it was up to me, I'd have been out there like 2 weeks ago or something. But, you know, it was just good to get back out there. It'll probably be one of those moments where, just like when it came to my college decision, I woke up and I'll just know. I'm not trying to like just say something just to say something. That's my honest like answer. I'll probably have to wake up one day and be like, all right, Griff, Trajan, coach, training stuff, I'm ready. Y'all let me go.
So I have 2 questions. Number 1, why is that reporter so sweaty on the right side of the screen?
Because he was playing ball with Zion. I think he might be there.
You got to wipe down the brow, my guy. And also, do you think Zion should start playing?
Well, I feel like he's young, so he's got that youth. Like, I can do it. I can just do it. So sometimes cooler heads will prevail. I think Zion looks a little bit. He's a little bit heavy. I mean, he's
Just
a
say it.
huge
Yeah, just say
dude.
it.
He is, but he's maybe a little bit heavy. So I think that maybe the people who are physical and analysts are saying, hey, can your body take the pressure going up and down on that knee? Do we want to re-injure things? I think that he should listen, and I think that he can be as excited as he wants. Bring that to the game when everybody's on board.
The footage that we're watching, he's not doing 3 important things to his game. He's not running, he's not jumping, and he's not cutting.
No.
When he talked to the media, he said, if it was up to me, I would have played 2 weeks ago. Perfect example of why you got to protect athletes sometimes from themselves. Zion Williamson is going to join a Pelicans team that's already going to the lottery. Their goals are behind them. To me, it should be about nurturing him for next season, not bringing him back in February where he could possibly get injured again, and now it's going to stunt his offseason growth going into next season.
Joseph, we got to go to break. You going to stick around for another segment?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. We'll be right back with more from Joseph Sikora, Tommy from Power, Jalen Jacoby. I'm staying in this Friday night and watching ESPN because we've got NBA action. The Sixers take on the Rockets. That's at 8 o'clock. And then in the nightcap, we have the Pelicans and all those former Lakers going into Los Angeles to take on AD, LeBron, and the Lake Show. That's at 10:30 on ESPN. And playoff football is here. The first game, 4:35 on ABC. You have the Bills taking on the Texans. And before all that, to get ready, 6 p.m. tonight, Sports Center, and at 1 a.m., the SVP version. They'll be talking about the post game of the Pelicans-Lakers, wrapping up all the evening's action and previewing the weekend of football. Welcome back to Jalen Jacoby. Joseph Sikora is here in studio once again. Tommy from Power is here. I just want to say, you're welcome to come back anytime.
Oh, I appreciate
anytime
that.
you want.
Open door
anytime
policy.
you want.
You've been a guest. You've hosted the show. We got your interstitial as a part of the show. We appreciate the
I'll
love.
take you up on that. I do want to know what you guys think about the back five as soon as they're over with, though. So I'll come back.
Yeah,
after
come
that.
back. You got to come
And
back.
you got to tell us about Mary J. Blige. I mean,
Yeah.
we got to talk about the queen.
I mean, listen, I'm just excited for the Power as it continues that she was announced as the lead of one of the spinoffs. So I'm really excited for Power in that because I think she's an amazing actor. She's an amazing person, an amazing artist. So I'm glad that they got her.
It's just so hard to have a hit. You know what I mean? It's so hard to have a hit. And this is the biggest show on the planet. And I'm really glad that they're spinning it off and having other branches of the Power story. In the Power
It should be
world.
really good. Courtney is a master puzzle maker. So she'll be able to fit all those pieces together in a really fun, entertaining, and conscious way.
Power is the biggest thing happening this weekend, but there's also NFL football. We've got the playoffs. We have the Bills and the Bills Mafia taking on the Texans. Jalen, what do you expect from this one?
I'm just happy for Bills and their fans that they outplay expectations. Nobody could say that they felt that this team would somewhat press the New England Patriots in their own division. Josh Allen had a terrific season rushing and throwing. Brown, you see hitting his head on the goalpost constantly. Frank Gore running the ball out of the backfield. This is a complete football team to get it done defensively, but Deshaun Watson is no joke.
No.
And they getting J.J. Watt back, too. So the Texans going to be playing full throttle football this weekend.
You gonna be watching this one, Joseph?
I will be, and I'll be hoping that New York, at least one New York team, that we finally have something. So if it's got to be Buffalo, it's got to be Buffalo.
Exactly. Dude, I forget that Buffalo's in New York. It's like 7 hours from here. It really is. It's like Canada, basically.
They're lake people. There's a camaraderie with Chicago.
Yes, good point. How the Bears, are they in the playoffs? The Lions, are they in the I mean, are they playing this? When's the Lions game this weekend? When's the Bears game this weekend?
Meow.
Okay. Well, we also have another big football game on Saturday. That's the night game where the Titans go in to Foxborough to take on the Patriots.
A lot of people drinking this Titans have a chance with Vrabel and Tannehill Kool-Aid that they're going to go to Foxborough and beat Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. I'm not. Their defense is going to show up on their home field. Now, for those that don't know, the Patriots won 6 Super Bowls. Never had they played during Wild Card Weekend.
Ooh.
So I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I do believe they're going to take care of business.
Well, I mean,
against the
and
Titans.
Brady has been in more playoff games than everybody else, every other quarterback in the playoffs combined.
Did you do research for the show? You got what happened here? Pay attention. You're more prepared than Jalen for the
I watched your show. I'm sure you guys said it.
Probably. Do you think that Brady and the Patriots are washed?
I don't know. I mean, I think that Brady's going to play his heart out, especially if it's going to be his last game, which is a possibility.
Could be his last game at Foxborough.
Yep, good point.
So we will see about that. Now, the Washington football team, they announced Ron Rivera, but no one's talking about their new head coach. Why? Because their owner, Dan Snyder, opened up the press conference by saying this. Let's check in.
Good afternoon. First off, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Today is the beginning of a great new year for the Redskins organization and its fans.
I want to have so much money that I forget that it's not Thanksgiving.
He's shook.
How do you say Happy Thanksgiving? How does that happen?
I mean, I don't know. He's sounds like he was leading up to being grateful about something.
Right. It just shows how, in my opinion, that there's so much happening with his football team, so much changeover. They've struggled mightily over the last decade or so. And now you're at the press conference announcing your new coach. He was nervous.
He dropped it. He's like, first of all, before we get this started, I just want to let you guys know, Happy Thanksgiving. Like, what?
Yeah, he was nervous.
What? I think he's just so rich he has no idea what day it is.
I believe that he needs this to work. And he was nervous. They need to develop their quarterback that they took in the first round. I think Rivera's going to do a great job with Washington, but their owner at the press conference was nervous, in my opinion.
It is now time for some very important news that matters. Joseph, I know you watch the show, so we spend most of our time complaining about Uber drivers. That's kind of one thing that we do a lot of. And I'm really excited that you're here today because we have some very important news that matters about Uber drivers. This is from Gabrielle Union, Dwayne Wade's wife. We all know Gabrielle Union, great actress. Here is what she tweeted. She tweeted that here it is, trying to be responsible and use Uber, and our driver asked to use our bathroom. 15, 20 minutes later, dude dropped the deuce. I'm pleased we clearly have a home available and reading material that screams, come on in, get comfortable, drop the kids off at the pool. Joseph Sikora. Imagine you had an Uber driver that took a deuce in your house. How do you handle that situation?
Man, I would not let it. I'm sorry, Uber drivers. You're not coming into my apartment for anything. My wife would murder me.
He took advantage of them.
He really did.
I would have been like, this. There's a park down the street, literally, and like there's a bad. It's not bad.
You'll be all right.
But here's like rule number one for me.
Don't take a number 2.
I like what you did there. And don't let strangers in your crib.
No.
Period. Because whether you realize it or not, those strangers, while they're taking a deuce, you know what else he's probably doing? Opening the cabinet.
Oh, yeah, looking in the medicine cabinet.
Opening up the drawers.
Everything.
Taking pictures.
He knows that's Gabrielle
taking
Union.
videos. He
He's
knows
on
who
Facebook
they are.
Live.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have let him in the crib.
I would have to search him before he left the house.
But here's an important question, Jacoby. 15, 20 minutes?
That's a long time. That's a long time.
That's a long time. He washed his hair too.
After 10 minutes, I'm knocking on the door. Like, yo, my man. Yeah, how many stars you giving that Uber driver?
That Uber driver. Oh, I'm not even gonna go there.
I'm complaining. I'm gonna complain.
I'm
Send a complaint.
I'm definitely complaining. So we have you here, Joseph. You gotta tell us who shot goes. You just gotta.
I'll tell you as Tommy, your mother.
I can't lie. I got a little shook. I got a little shook. You're a good actor, man. You gave me that look. I was like, oh, it's Tommy now.
We got
not
Dre,
Joseph
we
anymore.
got Tasha.
Mm-hmm. Cooper Sacks.
Mm-hmm.
So many people want Ghost's head.
Tell him why you don't think it's Tommy. Because he's not going to tell us, because, it's his job.
Here's why I don't think it's Tommy. Because Tommy wouldn't have just shot him once. Wouldn't have just shot him one time.
Mm-hmm.
If Tommy would have did the Scarface at the end of the movie Blaze of Glory, we seen what he did to Ghost's apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He ain't about to just show up and pow. Nah.
That's not Tommy.
That's not Tommy's style.
He didn't even shoot Proctor once. He had to shoot him with his
Correct.
That's a good point.
He shot up the whole apartment, including Proctor.
However, maybe that he got it out with shooting up Ghost's apartment. And by the time he gets to Ghost, it's just that one and done.
One shot, one kill.
Power comes back this weekend. Make sure you check on that on Stars. Joseph, you are welcome to come back here anytime. Honestly, anytime. Come on back. We'll be back with more Jalen Jacoby right after this. Back to Jalen Jacoby. I want to thank Joseph Sikora for coming through. What a great guy Joseph Sikora is, man.
He's talented,
What
man.
a great guy.
Talented.
Jalen, you care a lot about what guests we have, and you care a lot about the topics that we discuss. So we tailored a segment just for you to decide whether we discuss something or not.
Thank you.
It's called Keep It Moving. If you want to discuss the topics, just say hit the brakes. If not, me and Meth Man jump in the minivan and keep it moving. Are you ready, Mr. Rose?
To Cal.
Did Joel Embiid sneak diss Ben Simmons?
Hit the brakes.
Oh, we're going to hit the brakes on this one. I knew y'all would get you with that one. Here is what Joel Embiid said about his teammates and their offensive philosophy. He said, quote, "We just need to look at ourselves and see what we can do individually. We've got to help each other, even if it means being outside of your comfort zone for the greater good to help the team win." Jalen.
Yes, sir.
He also said, meaning that if you've got to space and shoot it, you've got to do it. We need everybody to buy into that, and we'll be fine. We're going to be fine. Jalen Rose.
Yes, sir.
Who doesn't shoot from the outside on the 76ers?
Ben Simmons.
Is Joel Embiid sneak dissing Ben Simmons with that quote?
How much do I adore big point guards?
You love him.
All the way back from Magic to Steve Smith, Brent Berry, shout out, Sean Livingston.
Jalen Rose.
Thank you, family. Penny Hardaway. Let me tell you something. Ben Simmons is a dynamic player. And I know that he's become an easy target based on the fact that he doesn't shoot outside of the paint.
Yep.
But that shot attempt right there that you see, I've been saying this since he got drafted. When he's in the paint and going to the basket, he shoots with his right hand.
Every single one of these shot attempts has been with his right hand.
But when he's at the free throw line or outside of the paint, of the 19 times he's attempted a shot, been with his left hand. That dynamic is off.
What do you think about Joel Embiid? This is Joel Embiid basically saying, if you're open and you have the ball, you've got to shoot Ben Simmons.
I believe that Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid are the type of talents that you build teams around.
They are.
So to me, if you transpose Ben Simmons into a squad where they're going to build like they did with Giannis, give him some shooters, get him some defenders, get him some people that can accentuate what he does, he could be an all-NBA player and we wouldn't talk as much about his non-ability to shoot outside of the paint. But since he plays with Joel Embiid, a dominant post player with great skill that can turn over both shoulders, and Al Horford, who can make threes, that's not a knockdown shooter, and Richardson, who can make threes, not a knockdown shooter, you need your primary ball handler to space the floor. And he's not doing that for their team.
Luka Doncic did his thing again. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
All right, Luka Doncic led the Mavericks past the nest. He put up 31 points, 13 rebounds, and 7 assists. This is becoming regular. A 30-point, 13 rebound, 7 assist game is just regular for Luka Doncic at this point.
Tall point guard. That's why I had to hit the brakes.
There you go.
And he's crafty with the basketball. When you see all of these plays, you can underestimate the athlete that he is.
People say it all the time. Oh, he's not athletic.
Yo, he is
he's
athletic.
putting up 30 points a night in the NBA. That's athletic.
See, those are people that only judge athleticism by LeBron James.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're not LeBron James, so you're not. No, Luka Doncic he got long arms. He can finish at the hoop. He takes contacts and plays through it.
He's so comfortable with the basketball. It just seems like he's never pressed. He's never pressed and never ever pressed.
Easy money.
Moving on.
That's my nickname for him, Easy Money.
Vince Carter is doing something crazy tonight.
Except that's KD's nickname.
Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
All right. Vince Carter playing tonight against the Celtics will become the first player in NBA history to play in 4 different decades. He played in the 90s, played in the aughts, played all through the teens, and will now play in the roaring 20s. What do you think about that?
I think that that's phenomenal. The athlete that he is and has been, it just shows you how that skill literally translates. So there were times where people were like, is Vince Carter a better dunker than Michael Jordan?
Maybe a better dunker.
I ain't never seen MJ do a 360 in a game.
Maybe a better dunker.
I ain't never seen MJ do a 360 in a game.
We're going to move on. Domingo Herman.
But the problem is the Hawks need him to play a lot of minutes.
Has been suspended by the
Hit the
MLB.
brakes on this.
Oh, okay.
Hit the brakes on this.
Well, Domingo Herman was suspended for 81 games. He did already get suspended at the end of last year and throughout the playoffs. So he's going to be suspended for 63 additional games starting the season in 2020.
So let me tell you the number one reason why I wanted you to hit the brakes on this.
Okay.
Just to continue to highlight domestic violence in society and in sport. But yet, he's going to be suspended for whether 63 games, 73 games, 3 games, or 13 games. When you're talented, you're still going to get an opportunity to perform. And that's unfortunate that we need sporting leagues to discipline players like this because the court system isn't doing
Yeah,
it.
because the justice system won't do it. It's a shame. We have a Nas Carter update.
Hit the brakes.
Our favorite college basketball player, gentleman by the name of Nas Carter, just so happens to be Jay-Z's nephew. He had 16 points.
And have a dope name.
Jay-Z's nephew had 16 points in a loss to UCLA, but he also did this. He got buckets. You know what? I love Nas Carter so much. If you ever
Get that down.
You ever wonder what's going on with Nas Carter? Just come to Jalen Jacoby.
Oh, catch
Look
it
at that
lives
one.
on him.
Look at that one. Give it to him.
Against UCLA story program.
We're going to move on. We have some serious serial innovation. Keep it moving or hit the
Serious
break.
cereal. Hit the brakes.
Okay. We hit the brakes on everything today. Gene Simmons
Good topics.
tweeted out a picture of someone putting ice cubes in their cereal. I guess they want to keep it cold. So they got the milk in there, ice cubes, and the cereal. Are you going to try this?
Soft move. Soft move. Gene Simmons got way too much money.
It's
all this is.
unclear if this is him or not.
He got way too much
Because
money.
we are very serious journalists. We did some research. We are not clear if it is Gene Simmons.
So I can like things, but not necessarily like them together. I like milk, non-fat. Dairy does something to my stomach. And I like ice. I don't like them together.
Okay.
And I don't like water in my cereal.
You know what? You like red wine, right?
Love it.
Do you know what my homeboy does?
What?
Puts it on ice. You ever tried red wine on ice?
Yeah, I've tried it.
It's delicious.
I tried red wine every conceivable possible.
I believe it. I believe it.
Okay, trust me.
Jalen, our producer is absolutely forcing me to talk about our fantasy football championship.
Oh,
Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
hit the brakes.
Jalen, you were in the championship for our fantasy football league. Did you win the title?
Injuries. Dalvin Cook been playing great football all season. Got hurt. Kenyon Drake got traded to the Cardinals. Got injured. And I want to give props to D for winning the championship. I won back-to-back seasons. I don't like losing. There are some things that I hope we improve at in our league.
Do you think I should start updating my roster after week 6?
But that's where I was going. See, the problem is people like him. Kick Jacoby types out of your league. People on
after
bye
week
weeks
5, I'm just like, whatever.
People that got
whatever.
released.
I don't
still
pick
in the
anybody up on
lineup.
waivers. Got kickers,
Come
they're
on,
injured.
man. Yeah.
I'm a mess. We have more wild card weekend football to preview for you. Make sure you stay tuned to Jalen and Jacoby. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. I want to thank Joseph Sikora, Tommy from Power for coming through. Make sure that you listen to the podcast. We have exclusive podcast content with Joseph. Jalen, there's a team in the NFL that you've been talking about all season long, saying, don't sleep on this team, don't sleep on this team. And right now, your Minnesota Vikings have a chance to go into New Orleans and beat the Saints. Do you think they can pull it off?
Wrong matchup.
Oh,
Wrong matchup.
no miracle? No miracle?
Wrong matchup. You don't want those Saints problems. However,
Dealing back.
you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Cook has had a better year running the football than Alvin Kamara.
Facts.
Michael Thomas, nobody catches more balls than him,
Nobody.
but they don't have a secondary receiver. Guess what? The Vikings have essentially 2 number 1 receivers in Diggs and Thielen. They're healthy. The key, however, under center for one squad is Drew Brees. For the other squad, it's Kirk Cousins. And I see that stat. He's 0-7 versus really good football teams.
0-7 is not good.
So if I'm a betting man and I walk to the window, I got to pick the Saints to get it done. However, don't sleep on my Vikings and don't be surprised if they pull off the upset.
We can see. I'm interested in this one. I can see this one going in a lot of different directions. But with Thielen and Diggs back, they have a chance. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles, somehow, someway, are hosting a playoff game. 9-7 hosting a
Eagles
playoff
fly.
game. However, Russell Wilson and the Seahawks are coming to town. Those same Seahawks, they were just a delayed game call away from not having to play this weekend. Jalen, Russell Wilson does things with the football. He just, escapability. Look at this escapability from Russell Wilson.
That's a great term.
I think that the Eagles have no chance in this one. Do you think they can pull off an upset?
Too many injuries on both sides.
Yeah.
Man, Like the running back position for the Seahawks had them bring Marshawn Lynch out of retirement.
Marshawn Lynch got a little belly. He got a bigger belly than me. Right? You see him sitting on the bench? I was looking at his stomach. I was like, is they wearing pads?
And the Eagles won't have Deshaun Jackson, and they've dealt with so many injuries. So that means I'm basically picking the defenses, which Seattle has Clowney. They have Bobby Wagner, too. He a beast. People never talk much about him.
Best.
I'm going Seattle.
I think so, too. I just think I'd say of all the games, I would say this will be the most lopsided.
But I want you and all the J&J fans to watch something really intimate this weekend.
Intimate?
There's a number
you want me to watch something intimate?
Yes, there's a number 55 that plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's my little brother, Brandon Graham. And don't be surprised when he gets Detroit. Don't be surprised when he gets a sack. He gonna Icewood on him. He gonna boss up. Because that's what we do.
Sometimes you get real Detroit and I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what bossing up or Icewood or any of that. I'm not even going to try to do the dance. You do the beginning every single day.
You see me? Yeah! Yes!
We're going to keep it in Michigan because we have a big basketball game this weekend. Michigan takes on Michigan State. That's on Sunday. Jawan and the Wolverines going into state.
You know what I'm enthusiastic about on this game?
What's that?
First off, I love Tom Izzo. And shout to him. I was at the game with Imani Bates, and I didn't realize he was sitting at the scorer's table. I would have went and hugged him. My bad, coach. I love you. Jawan going against one of Michigan's rivals. Mm-hmm. Both of these teams have one distinct thing in common I want you guys to pay attention to.
What's that?
Senior point guards.
Yeah.
So, getting into your offense, keeping the turnovers down, getting the ball to the hot hand is going to be the key to who gets this dub.
I want to thank Joseph Sikora for coming through. What a great guy.
You going to take me to lunch?
I'll take you to lunch.
Yes.
I'll take you to lunch. Thank you so much for tuning in to Jalen and Jacoby. We'll be back Monday at 2 p.m. to break down the entire Wild Card weekend.